Hi everyone, myself Sudevan, Assistant Professor in Department of English at BPG College of Art and Science. In this video, we are going to discuss about the poem Still Here, written by Langston Hughes. Before getting started with the poem, let's brush up a bit about the author, Langston Hughes. So James Mercer Langston Hughes, he was born on 1st of February 1901. He was not only an American poet, but also a social activist, novelist, playwright, and also a columnist. So at his very young age, he moved to New York, and then he got graduated from a high school in Cleveland, which is in Ohio State. So he began his studies at Columbia University in New York, but unfortunately, he got dropped out from that university before he got graduated. And finally, he got graduated from the Lincoln University, and also he has written an in-depth weekly column in the leading black newspaper, the Chicago Defender, from which the civil rights movement gained momentum. And he was best known for his style of jazz poetry and his involvement in the artistic movement called the Harlem Renaissance. On 22nd of May 1967, Hughes died in New York at the age of 66. Now let us get started with the poetic lines. Still Here, written by Langston Hughes. I've been scarred and battered, my hopes the wind and scattered. Snow has frozen me, sun has baked me, looks like between them they done. Try to make me stop laughing, stop loving, stop living, but I don't care, I'm still here. Let us start discussing about the poem lines. Still Here by Langston Hughes. I've been scarred and battered, my hopes the wind and scattered. So the poet opens his poem by stating these lines. So through these lines, the poet directly admits their condition, like they were totally beaten up, and the hardship they faced have left marks on their bodies, and which turned into scars, and their bodies were full of scars. And along with that, he says that this particular fear and pain are like a violent wind, which have shattered all their hopes of straying back. And with the next two lines, he says, Snow has frozen me, sun has baked me. So here the poet Hughes uses a symbolism to represent the two extremes of hardship. So consider if it is like cold. So through this, he implies the African people, I mean the black people, were totally ignored or they were totally isolated. Or in case if it is a heat. So through this, he states that the hardship and the physical labor and even the violence that the people have faced, and they have to endure all these kind of hardships throughout their life so far. So with the next lines, looks like between them they done try to make me stop laughing, stop loving, stop living. So with these lines he says, like they did all these things just to make us stop laughing, living, loving. But facing these hardships have made us more stronger than ever before. So this have given them another mindset that we should not give up. And with further, he moves to the end of the poem. There he ends with a positive attitude. There he says, but I don't care, I'm still here. So through these lines, he says, we won't let our hope go away just because of the hardships that you have laid on us. And as a result of that, we are still here, we are standing here and fighting for ourselves. Let us start discuss about the themes that were employed in this poem. So the first theme, resilience. So the poem is an ultimate testament to resilience. Hugh uses a first person perspective to show, despite being scarred and battered, the speaker is still standing. Not just the speaker, even their entire community is still standing. And as a key evidence, he states in his final line, I'm still here. It acts as a victory cry. And resilience, it's not always about surviving. It's about being active, ongoing presence of the individual despite every attempt to erase them. And moving to the second theme, survival and defiance in the face of systematic oppression. The systematic oppression is represented by the external forces such as the snow, the sun, and even the wind that try to stop their breath. But in African American literature, these natural elements are often metaphors for the harsh, cold, and unpredictable nature of racism and inequality. By saying these particular lines like I've been scarred and battered, so Hughes acknowledges the damage system has done. But the difference lies in the fact that those scars did not lead them to death. The speaker just weathered the storm. And with the final two themes, poverty and personal hardship. So while the poet does not explicitly mention anything about money, but the words like scarred, battered, and scarred evoke a life of immense struggle and lack of security. In particular, Hughes uses the sun, which is nothing but heat or exhaustion, and the snow, which is nothing but cold or neglect, to represent the physical toll of hardship. So these aren't just weather condition, they represent the exhausting environment of a person living under the weight of personal and economic adversity. Thanks for watching.